Hello there, my name is Robert Garnham, and welcome to Woodview. These are poems about memory, place, poems about growing up. They're about the things that happen and the people that you meet along the way, fleeting encounters on sleeper trains, becoming invisible in a Japanese megacity of Tokyo, growing up in a house on the hill in the woods, and you can glimpse the whole of London from the back bedroom window that you could reach out and just touch it, and dreaming and becoming entranced by the neon that stayed with me for my whole life. But most of all, these poems are about the woods, the forest, the trees, obscuring memories perhaps as well as the view. Lonely autumn walks through a leafy copse, imagining other places, other existences, other people. So this collection of poems, it's kind of autobiographical, and layered in ways that you might find surprising. They might take the reader beyond the present moment, or they might just be poems. You might like them. I hope you do. Anyway, there's some poems coming up now from the book. They were filmed in the woods of Woking. It's a place that I've always found bizarrely almost spiritual. I love forests, I love trees, and I love the woods of Woking. So welcome to Woodview. Once upon a dark forest, in whose ferny depths mysterious nighttime rustling and the whip snap of pigeon wings primed a soul for the desolate, there was a marked fairy tale acceptance of the banal. Misty cling rain would glisten on a slate tile roof. Fish scale overlaps in the deep, deep woods. A two-up, two-down cottage in whose various outbuildings, long since reclaimed by the wild forest, hinted at the slow advance and the retreat of a city which long ago decided to look elsewhere, to leave behind a tide of forgetting, cold rooms, a popping gas fire, and furniture from 3 generations back. There was no appetite for ambition beyond the immediacy of comfort and stretches of silence almost zen, were it not for the murmur of the unspoken, traffic rumbles, aircraft whines, a son-in-law's brother whose overcoat smelled of city districts and different boroughs, the hum of a fridge, cars on the wet road. From the rear bedroom window, visible only when winter's oaks jab skeletal fingers, a smudge of neon and skyscraper outlines, aircraft hangars, flyovers, the excitement of metropolitan life and other people. There is no accounting for unnecessary imaginings. You can see the city, but you mustn't touch. And no one ever spoke of frightening things. The woods were free of wolves and ogres too. And so long as it were kept at an arm's length, the city could never overspill its suburban boundaries, tempt one into dreaming, for no one has the right to make their mark but a fool. The gas fire popped with certainty, and it was all once upon a dark forest. Tender, so strong, my miracle, do you lift me? Tender, so strong in the heat of the night, knowing you're there, completes me entirely. Each moment a song when you're tender, so strong. How we dance and you hold me so tender, so strong.
how we gaze in wonder at the love which we share. Your presence a comfort, each moment a triumph. With you I belong, 'cause you're tender, so strong. So euphoric like clockwork, your physical form. In a world that's so cold, you keep me so warm. You are my delirium, seeking the infinite. It's ever so long, and it's tender, so strong. You hold a key to a door that had always been locked, like an intruder sneaking round stuffy old furniture, then turned on the lights and cranked up the heat, welcomed me home, arms wide, smiling. We play like musicians, you're tender, so strong. Nimble-fingered virtuoso, tender, so strong. The night afire with your desire, longingly, thirstily, I wished that I could shout to the throng how you're tender, so strong. I was foolish and dreamed of places I shouldn't, my weaknesses evident, yet you welcomed me back, as if we could never forget or remember. I knew I'd done wrong, you were tender, so strong. You gave me a dream I could cherish, so many moments of life-affirming glee. You gave me a purpose and a time which I spent in awe of your tenderness, your beauty, your strength.
Beauty masquerades in nonchalance. A bedfellow feral, and the mating ritual begins in coyness. A tan for the demons, this shock of jocks and shocks, hearts unlocked, chances mocked, and losers voted into obscurity of normalness. Collective decisions and heads filled with hope and fame, money, acclaim. Do we gawp with our own preconceptions, appetites for plastic stereotypes confirmed, or see in the subtlety of occasional nuance edited out for snappier viewings, real humanity beneath the glitz? I told him I felt happy there. Mother replied, "That's the spirit of your great-grandmother. She made everyone feel welcome. Always a smile on her face, a loving word, the sheer joy of life in a sunbeam yellow gold. It felt and smelled like a church. Mould spores, my dad pointed out. Rising damp, subsidence. Why anyone, let alone the Nazis, would want to bomb a house in the woods is anyone's guess. My great-grandparents moved their bedroom to the cupboard under the stairs. Cosy. How plaintive the eerie air raid siren. A direct hit on the telephone exchange 5 doors down. My gran worked there for a bit. In the 1930s, patching through calls with apparent ease. Such a smooth operator. All I can jump are the fires you've lit. Yet you have the cheek to call me the arsonist. Would be the most amazing opening line of a poem. But the world I inhabit isn't merely so melodramatic, and in any case, I always wanted to start a poem with the word notwithstanding. I grew up in the suburbs, lulled to sleep by sirens and the electric flash from late night trains. And life was as beige as my dad's Ford Cortina, my camp mannerisms coming across, if anything, in our council estate as more an aspiration to poshness. I was always pained by the fact that I was not a Time Lord nor a pet shop boy, and looking back with the benefit of hindsight, I was probably just a pain in the arse with a vivid imagination and a bizarre fascination with Jammy Dodgers and Bob Newhart. You can avoid the elephant in the room as much as you like, but at some point you're going to have to clean up its droppings, and look what it's done to the sofa. I went to the fair and I saw a sign which read coconut shy, and I thought, I know how it feels. I was never interested in poetry. I remember my English teacher saying, "Now I'm going to read a poem by Percy Bysshe Shelley," and all the way through the only thing I could ponder as his silver tongue smoothed over Shelley's surreptitious syllables was, what kind of name is Bysshe? I'd imagine myself regenerating and having a whole new body, and then go home and explore it in great detail, because it would have blonde hair and a nicer face, and I'd be so much thinner, and my personality would be much more outgoing, and maybe then Aaron would like me, and the stars would dance, and the universe implode, and I'd finally be me, and the end titles would roll, the Doctor, Robert Garnham, and the theme music would play. The school careers officer asked me what I'd like to do, but I couldn't say Neil Tennant because the position was already filled. Would I write a book, or should I take to the stage? 40 years later, I became a performance poet and kind of did both. I told her I wanted to work in a garden centre. I remember where I was when the shuttle exploded. I have an alibi. That hum of energy I took to be the hum of London, reaching out to guide my nervous hand into its sweaty utopian embrace, turned out to be the fridge. Standing in front of the mirror, no sign of a regeneration yet. The reason I'd spent so long in the closet was because I was pretending that it was the TARDIS. Through the distant crack of long-wave radio, I'd hear electric storms on those humid nights when it was so hot you couldn't possibly sleep. But through the static would come Bob Newhart, and I'd listen to his button-down voice and look out over the whole of London at those voluminous clouds lit up within with sheet lightning, and I'd wish that I were as brave as Bob Newhart, because he was obviously also just a shy person who had somehow found this way of making people laugh, and who knows, one day it might also happen to me. I went to the fair with my brother Jim when somebody threw a tomato at him. Now a tomato is soft when it's wrapped in its skin, but this here tomato was wrapped in a tin. The kid next door was a pyromaniac. You can't really sleep properly when you think that the house is on fire. Gonna be another thunderstorm tonight. Now over to Bill with the sport. All the houses looked the same until Dad slapped on a coat of beige paint that matched the beige of our Ford Cortina. Park the Ford Cortina against the wall. Oh no, where's the Ford Cortina? Oh, there it is. They're both beige as the suburbs, as beige as my ski jacket, as beige as the Fifth Doctor's Edwardian frock coat, as beige as my realisation that regeneration is a lifelong progression, as beige as the smoke rising from the neighbour's shed, and I still adore the pets, and Bob Newhart creases me up because he's not showy or shouty, he's just kind of beige, but beige can be hilarious. And wouldn't you know it, I actually did manage to travel in time, because sometimes I see old photos of me and all I can do is jump the fires that I lit. Which would be a damn good last line of a poem.